Greg posted one of our videos on his Facebook last week, and he got a lot of great response from people. And I believe Scott McVeigh, that was who asked this question, right? He asked a pretty awesome question. And if you have any questions, please ask any of us on social media, again, at Catch Camarillo, at Marcus McNeill 73, at Matt Scraby. But his question was, what's the difference between teams that win close games versus teams that blow close games? Which I think is a fantastic question. And the Los Angeles Chargers are the shining example of blowing close games. This is the seventh time this year that they've lost to a one-score game.
Yeah, they are giving us week in and week out ways to analyze this question. So it's really, what are the intangibles? That's what Scott asked. What are the intangibles? Because there's no mathematical way to look at, are you a team that blows leads and gives up games, or are you a team that comes back and wins them? So I guess Marcus and I can kind of go back and forth on this. But to me, it's about belief. Are you a team that believes you can win no matter the situation? Or are you a team that panics and it's like, oh shit, how are we going to blow this one? And both Marcus and I, we were talking pre-podcast, his rookie year, 2006. 2006. We were both on the Chargers together. We were 14-2. It was one of the most enjoyable seasons. It was the most enjoyable season I'd ever been part of, because no matter what the team faced, we believed we could come back and win it. We had great come from behind wins in Cincinnati, I think Indianapolis. Like, it was just fun, and there was never any panic. And that's where I'll stop my first one. But DeAndre Hopkins, who just scored, and we'll talk about his catch, one of the greatest last-second catches ever, said in his interview, never panic. If I were on the Cardinals in that situation, I might have panicked. He said never panic, and to me, that's what it comes down to.
What do you think, Marcus, about those? What do you think about teams that win close games and teams that blow close games?
It comes down to the management of the game. If you have a game, there's so many plays that lead up to those final plays that you kind of just forget about. You see the big catch at the end, and that's all you're going to think about, and that's the sum up of that game. But there's so many things that go into the whole game. That's why football is the game of inches. So the people that pay attention to making sure they win every down over the entire course of the game, those are the teams that are going to win. And it takes a big play, at the end. Mm-hmm. It takes a big play in that moment, and you can't really shy away from that moment. And I think that's one of the best things that we had about our team back in 2006 was nobody was afraid to make that moment happen, whether it was special teams, whether it was a big play from the receivers, whether it was a big run. I'm talking about everybody was waiting for their chance for their number to be called, and there wasn't no fear. So you can't have that fear when you're going out there. You have to know that every play counts, and you take it one play at a time.
And to go on top of that, I totally agree with Marcus saying it. And it's a matter of put this on my back, but within the realm of my job. You'll see guys that often try to do too much and things backfire. A quarterback trying to squeak a ball downfield that's not open, it turns it into an interception. It's really put it on my back, but I'm just going to run my regular route. Or, let Big Mac on 4th and 1, run the ball behind him. He's just going to do his regular job, not trying to do too much. And then Big Mac also mentioned that it starts with the management, and he meant the management of the game, I believe is what he was talking about. But I also think it's management of your team and how coaches handle the day in and day out. Do they put you in situations in practice where you're behind the 8 ball and you got to work yourself out? You practice that. And I had two good quotes from coaches. One is clear the mechanism. So no matter what's going on in your brain, clear your mechanism and start over. Start from scratch. It may be 4th and 1 with the game on the line, but start from scratch. Just like do your job. And I used to think that was an amazing quote that he came up with until I learned that Kevin Costner was in a baseball movie. And I felt misled for years. I was like, oh man, my coach is a genius. He stole it from a movie, man.
Was that Bull Durham?
It was For the Love of the Game.
Oh, For the Love of the Game.
Yeah,
okay.
I had to Google it, but yeah, man, I was heartbroken when I found out that he stole that quote from somewhere else. But I love the quote. And the other one was "Stop the bleeding." When you're bleeding, when things suck, and just like my Big Mac said, somebody has to step up and stop the bleeding. Somebody put it on their back, do your job, and stop the bleeding. And if you combine all those things that we just talked about, I think that's what puts a team in a position to always have belief to come back and win.
Hey, you can see it in their eyes too, Scraven. I'm gonna keep it real with you. You can see it in their eyes. Like when you look on the sideline before it's a big drive and before it's a big plays, you can see the guys that are tuned in and locked in, and then you can see the guys, and then you can see the guys who kind of got like a little worry and a doubt on their face, and those, like, whoever has the guy with the doubt on their team, or that just that little bit of doubt, you know what I'm saying, is just enough for you to get mossed, you know what I'm saying, for that last play of the game, because it's another guy that's going to be on that other team that's like, this is my shot right here. Like, this is my chance right here, and I'm about to go get it, so it depends on which dog you have in that fight, and it comes down to, it may just be one play out of 73 plays on offense can depend the whole fate of the game.
As a fan, you could watch the quarterbacks too. You watch and see if they have it or not. You get the ball with 47 seconds and you got to go 80 yards. Some QBs love that. It's like,
love it.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah. And then the other ones, like Coach Max, Big Mac said, they look a little scared. Oh man, it's not happening.
Did you see when Nick Foles went out the game yesterday?
He was so relieved.
But my hip,
so relieved.
But they had what? I mean, they only had a few seconds left, but they had a chance
40 something seconds.
Yeah, 40 something seconds. But I'm thinking that the backup quarterback is gonna come in there and at least try. The last play of the game, he threw the ball out of bounds.
He did.
Poor guy.
That's your shot, bro.
Oh,
you got
man.
one shot. This isn't the time to throw the ball out of bounds. Like, this is the time you could throw an interception and we be like, okay, you know what I'm saying?
He doesn't want that stat, man. He doesn't want 0 touchdowns and 1 career. And he's like, I'm gonna take 3.
One attempt.
I'll take a pick.
1 attempt, 1 completion, interception.
Yeah, we don't even need to talk about the Bears because they've done everything themselves to make them look terrible.